let's just start with the court hearing yesterday.
Right.
What were your takeaways from that?
Well, the takeaway yesterday, I was really under the impression, I knew going in that in the past 12 months, there'd only been a few hundred to $300 that had been paid. So I'm thinking yesterday there'll be a sizable amount paid for restitution. The judge said last year at the hearing a year ago that he wanted to see a sizable amount paid during the past 12 months. So I'm figuring if we had $300, she's going to come in and pay something, substantial yesterday, which obviously didn't happen. I think she paid $30 the day before. And then the judge said he was happy with it and that he was going to put on $50 a month because she's having a problem finding a job. And I just think that, the fact that she was originally in Hoover, she was originally sentenced to some jail time, which I think a lot of us thought that was warranted. It was appealed, did not get any jail time. So that was a suspended sentence. I think as long as she does everything that she's supposed to do, there'll be no jail time. She already completed her community service work, so that's fantastic. But I just think that $50 a month, which would be like 28, 30 years from now, if she continues paying that stuff, is really not fair to really what the effort that everybody put in. And I'm just talking about the police and the other agencies, but even the public that came out and believed the story and worked hard to try to find her. And again, like I've said all along, I'm tickled to death that she came back. We want her to get better, whatever issues she had. We want her to be able to be a good member of society like the rest of us. But it just seems to me that $50 a month is just not much money.
What do you think would be, in your opinion, what would be an appropriate monthly payment?
Well, I don't know about monthly payment. I would have thought that maybe, here's the deal. You're not going to jail. We're not making you tell us where you were for 49 hours, which is really the thing that I would love more than anything to find out, because we searched, we looked, we didn't find her. We know she was around, couldn't have been far. I would have been good for, give her several years to pay, but at least give us the information that we want so we can kind of know for ourselves what took place. So, I can't really come up and say what the monthly would be. I would have thought that within 2 or 3 years, let's get this thing paid. Regardless of what you got to do, let's just get this thing paid. So again, I'm this thing is dragged on now, so we're kind of over it. We're going to move on, and I just don't feel like the effort that we put in and everybody else put in, just to say no jail time, $50 a month for whatever time period it is, isn't just a good justification.
And I believe you mentioned that she was having a hard time finding a job.
Yeah, that's what her attorney said yesterday, and I can certainly understand that. I mean, it is probably hard if they know what the situation was, but that's not our problem.
And I know from several cases, with it being a misdemeanor, it's not the most hindering thing when it comes to finding employment for somebody. But
Sure.
Do you think because this case got so much national attention that that's going to, play a part in this?
Probably so, especially locally, I would think. And again, not only nationally but internationally. And that's probably the other thing that's a little disturbing is the fact that, people that even 49 hours goes pretty quick. It's only a couple of days. But during that period of time, people were concerned about their kids driving. They didn't know what was out there, kidnapped, or what the deal was. So I mean, the city was in havoc, and the area was in havoc of a lot of people being very concerned for family members being out and about. And that's the other thing. This is, even though it's a misdemeanor, it was a 49-hour deal. Not only was it a national story, it was an international story. I mean, for some reason, this thing gripped the nation. I mean, everybody was waiting to find out exactly when they're having a press conference to find out some more information. So, to me, it's just not the normal story, and that's why I think that it ought to garnish a little more from her to have to submit a little bit more of a payment to the city. Again, the $18,000, $20,000, $30,000 or $50,000 that we probably spent, that's kind of not even relevant to me. That they're under the situation that she conducted herself, that we ought to get compensated. That's all. And
you still have no idea where she was during this 49-hour disappearance?
No. Like I said, I'm more interested in knowing that than the money, to be honest with you. That would just kind of put everything to rest. I mean, I just wish we knew where she was.
Do you think that'll ever come out?
No, I don't. You know, she's always never. The only time she really ever talked to us was the time that she talked to us at the hospital when she had come home that night and was taken to the hospital, and that's when she told us about the kidnapping, and that's the only time that we've ever really had any time to talk to her. We've been shut out ever since. So again, we're done. We'll move on, but again, I just wish that would have been a little bit different when we had that hearing yesterday.
What would you have liked to see done differently yesterday?
Well, I would have thought the judge would have said this is not, you know, $300 is just not quite enough money, and $50 a month is not quite enough money. Let's get a substantial. If we're going to have a hearing in March, which is when the next hearing is, I would have thought that let's have a substantial amount paid by that point in time. She did the community service, which is great. Completed that. Let's get some of the money back to the city. Our constituents paid for all that. So let's get compensated and move on.
Do you feel that the change that was made after this case with the state law is going to make a difference in the future?
Absolutely. I think people that think about doing something like that for the notoriety, whatever the situation was, I think people, when they realize they will probably go to jail for a minimum of a year, I do think it'll make a difference. And certainly want to thank April Weaver, state senator, representatives that helped us also, and the Speaker of the House that called right after this case took place, that all realized that we need to change that law and a little stiffer penalty for the situation, especially for all the havoc that was caused not only locally but all over the country.
And then my next question for you, I know when we spoke after she had pled guilty, avoided the jail time, and was ordered the community service
Right.
and to pay restitution, you had mentioned in that interview then that the only one that was going to really be getting the consequences for this were her parents.
Right.
If these payments are coming very seldomly and very, in little amounts, it doesn't seem like that's the case.
No, it doesn't. So it doesn't. I really thought that. I was, to be honest with you, the reason I said that to begin with, I was under the impression at the initial court hearing a year ago that the judge was making her pay the restitution in full. That's what I thought. And then by saying that, I knew that she didn't have, obviously, the money to pay it. So I figured that it would be her parents. So obviously that was not the case. Did not make it pay it in full. And I don't know if you can go out and get a loan to pay that type of money back, but it's over. The decision's made, and she'll pay the $50 a month. And again, hopefully the city will get compensated at some point in time.
Even if that's 30 years from now.
Yeah, let's probably, hopefully, most of us will be retired by then.
Anything else I didn't ask you, Chief? You want to say?
No, you're good. Appreciate it.
Great, thank you.